Hello everyone, this video is about the summer solstice on the 20th of June, which is also the new moon in Gemini solar eclipse, the eclipse of the sun, right? The moon shadow blocks the sun for a moment, and that lasts for about, I believe, 21 minutes. I mentioned it in, 21 minutes. So where they're seeing that in some parts of Africa, India, some parts of China and Pakistan, so they'll be experiencing that solar eclipse, so we'll get to see the images of that. But also it's a powerful day. There will be a lot of events at special places around the world, so we can celebrate that no matter where we are. It doesn't have to be in the line of the solar eclipse, or you know, at a special location where ancestors, ancient society have held observation of the sun in the longest day of the year. So the solar energy is about life, okay? And having the solar eclipse happening, it's really going back to another video that I made, which was talking about the spiritual meaning of the solar eclipse, which is teaching us time, but most importantly, shift. Okay, how do we handle things when they change, when they shift? The absence of something, darkness and light, right? How we perceive it and how do we understand it? Do we truly understand it? And how do we use both of them? Right? So it's the yin and the yang. It's a dance, it's a cosmic dance. The absence of light, right? How do we handle that? And then when light returns, how do we handle that? How do we appreciate every moment that we're in? Right? It's very deep. So the longest day of the year, how are you going to enjoy that? Right? How are you going to celebrate the celebration of life, which was marked with festivals and celebrations and so on? So this happening and holding the energy on the 20th and the 21st, the scientific explanation is the moon casting a shadow, right, on the earth, and the moon blocking the light of the sun. Right? And the spiritual meaning, like I said, can be a powerful teacher of how we appreciate things in our life. Now we can look at it as in growth. How are you going to grow in this time, right? For this summer, how can you grow in this summer? It's the longest day of the year. How are we going to welcome summer in our life? And what does summer mean to us? How can we manage our fire, right? And on the day of the solar eclipse and the day of the summer solstice, the water is the most powerful element of the day. So really observing water, not really in a ritual way, but more in appreciating water and appreciating the life that it brings, right, for our summer season. We can look at it as the sun standing still, right? So it's really mindfulness meditation. If there's any practice you're going to do within the eclipse season or on the eclipse days, it's really mindfulness meditation. It's chaotic energy, so you don't want to pull in on it. You don't want to do Reiki. You don't want to clear your crystals. You don't want to do anything like that. You really want to focus in on being still and observing yourself and observing your day, observing the actions of yourself and others. Okay? And the sun is one of the earliest astrology symbols, okay, that our ancestors observed, and it was very important. It was actually vital for life. So all the necessary things that we have and all the fun things that we have right now in our life, how are we appreciating that, right? So really appreciating everything that we have, and seeing the need that we have for it, and the need that others have for it as well. All right. So a good thing to do on the summer solstice is to dance out negative energy. And the drums is very much of the root chakra, right? My ancestors used a lot of drums. A lot of our ancestors used drums, and it can empower you, right, to really protect yourself. But it can also and to fight, right? But it can also release negative energy into the earth. The earth cleanses all things. All spiritual teachings teach that, right? The earth gives us food, and it cleanses, and it's very powerful and strong. The earth element is all the elements in one, and spirit. Okay, so we can dance barefoot, stomping the feet to the ground. Okay, it doesn't have to be. We're not pulling energy. You can just kind of release it. The earth can handle it, right? So letting out negative energy and replacing that fluid of water into the body, right? So the element of water is very powerful that day. We can think of it as looking forward to our summer. What are we going to plant based on the waxing and the waning of the moon? If we are farmers, or we know of a farmer, or what our ancestors did, they knew what to plant during the waxing moon and what to plant during the waning moon. So if we don't have to think about these things, or unless you want to have your own garden this summer, which is probably a popular thing to do, is to really think about what foods are best for you, and to strengthen your immune system, and what foods are in season naturally in June and July, focusing on that, okay? And we'll get to fasting and so on shortly. Okay, what will you honor this day? Are you thankful for water? Are you thankful for life? Are you thankful for time? Are you thankful for a positive shift, a positive change? Are you thankful for recognizing the true spiritual meaning of darkness and light, and how both can be used in a negative or in a positive way? So something to think about, right? And I think I made a video on that before, but I might title it a little bit better so it's easier to find. Okay, so what are your human goals, right? So we're talking about planting seeds of food. We're in waxing moon right now, then we go to the new moon, and then we're in waning moon right now, then we go to the new moon, and then we're in waxing moon, where the moon is getting closer and bigger to the earth. And then we will have on July 4th, a Saturday, we will have another lunar eclipse. Remember, we had a lunar eclipse. Now we're going to experience a solar eclipse on June 20th and 21st. And then we're experiencing the solar eclipse on the 20th and 21st. And then we're going to go to another lunar moon eclipse on July 4th. Okay, so these three lunar eclipses, even if you're not in alignment with the lunar or the solar eclipse, is still affecting us. It's affecting the whole earth, you know. So I've been saying that in the videos. This is very powerful, and the number 3 is very powerful. Mind, body, and spirit is getting affected and getting a shake. Okay, and even the earth is shaking. So we're getting that physical shift and shake, and so is the earth physically. Okay, so and I was talking to a Qigong teacher, and it's interesting because if you're wearing your shoes, he was saying that he couldn't feel the earthquake, or others couldn't feel the little earthquake, but he felt it, and he took his shoes off to feel that earth energy, right? So how connected are you to your environment? If your dog or your cat or the birds can sense an earthquake, how connected are you, and how more connected can you be? Okay, so I have to move this because I don't want the cell phone to get too hot in the sun. So I love filming outside for the light, but it can get pretty hot. So we want to think about these things, okay? What will you be honoring? Yourself, life, you know, positive things that you can honor, okay? And really look up the word honor and see how you define it. What does it mean to you? What's the true meaning? So the celebration is the sun, and the sun equals life, okay? And the sun equals food, and the sun equals survival, right? And another meaning is reflection at the summer solstice, reflecting on the season of the past and how we can do better. How can we prepare better for our future, right? So another meaning, like I said, is celebration, right? The sun equals life, equals food, celebration. And then another meaning of the summer solstice is reflection, reflecting on all the four seasons, reflecting on this season, okay? You're reflecting on the past season. How did you do in fall and winter? And how did you do in spring? And the summer is like, how can I do better in the summer, right? If you were a farmer, you'd be growing things and jarring them and really and preparing them for you know, and for fall, getting all the foods and really preparing for the winter. But how are you preparing? For us now, it's more financial, it's more money. How are we preparing for that? And then we can prepare in another way to make sure that we have the power to not experience something negative that we don't need to experience. So it's very powerful this summer. The summer is fire and heat. So how are we going to use our fire, right, to protect ourselves, right? And the solar eclipse is happening on the summer solstice, so it's about self, right? How do we care about ourselves? How are we compassionate to ourselves? And how does that compassion extend outwards to everyone else? Very powerful. The summer solstice is also about our planet, right? Because it's in this rhythmic cycle of the sun and the moon. So it's about our planet and how are we connected through the earth and around the world, our planet. How are we connected to our planet? How are we connected to the world, right? And the earth. How do you connect to the earth where you are, and how do you connect to the world? The summer solstice also represents new beginnings and that change, and it also is a symbolism of that, right? It's a target, right? It's like you really want to mark your target, that circle and that dot, right? It's a symbolism of your placement in the center of everything that's happening around you. You're at the center, and in the most positive way, because if you don't take care of yourself, then who can you help, right? No one. So what are the symbolisms that are important to you? And can you survive only on symbolism? No. The symbolism represents something tangible, and having a symbol of something means nothing if you don't have what is tangible. So you have to recognize the new beginning. You have to experience it. It can't just be a lofty idea or some kind of beautiful idealism, right? So we want to be more. We want to be patient. We want to slow down. Okay? We want to be mindful of our energy, right? So in this new beginning, we really want to be more patient. We want to slow down. We want to be mindful of what we're thinking. The summer solstice also represents the element of fire, because we're in summer. And the element of fire is strength, but it's also anger. And this is something I learned in one of my training for one of my jobs, is when do people get the most upset, and it's what season. And I thought it would be winter, because I'm like, I'm cold, I'm upset, I'm freezing, but it's not, it's summer. People get hot and sweaty and sticky, and if it's humid or if it's too hot, you can get really angry. So it fuels that fire within us, right? So the fire within us can be strong, but it can also be anger. So how does that become a balance, right? And the summer is another peak season. Winter has its own peak season, and summer is the other peak season. So it has its own powerful energy that we have to learn how to control, right? And it's really looking at, say, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, okay? which is technically right below the navel, and that energy shoots up into the stomach all the way up to the heart chakra, okay? And what we love, it fuels what we love. It gives us drive. It's our fuel chakra, the yellow solar plexus, our power, our fuel, right? So what are we feeding this summer, and how can we allow this to, you know, help us to grow and to be more powerful and to be more strong within ourselves? Okay, how can we be the light of our own souls? How can we be the light for ourselves in the most positive way? And then we're also being the light for others, right? Because spiritually, whatever I'm experiencing, someone else is going to experience it in another way. So we are bouncing off of each other, right? It's like a mirror. So, 4 seasons, right? At the start of each solstice, right? Or each quarter, the animals fast. And a practice that I like to do, and a lot of my family members did, is fasting. So if you're new to it, a new person would fast 1 day. I'm not telling you to fast, but you have to, you know, check your own doctor and your own nutritionist and so on, and know thyself, know yourself, know your body. But if you're new to it, you wouldn't go and just do 3 days of fasting. That's crazy. A nice, easy beginner way is to juice that day. But a spiritual practice on the eclipse, and at the high peak of the eclipse, I hear someone back there, the high peak of the eclipse, you want to not eat. You want to refrain from eating from that time frame of that eclipse. So this particular one happening on June 20th, 21st, depends on your time zone, 2020, is for 21 minutes is the high peak. And the high peak starts at 11. So some of you guys will miss it because you'll be sleeping anyway, so you won't be eating. And your digestive system is doing its own clock. All of your organs are at a high peak at different times of the day, cleansing itself, revamping itself, you know, restarting itself, cleansing itself in different times of the day. So definitely check into that. I learned that in medical Qigong. I learned that we had that in massage school many years ago, and of recent years studying medical Qigong. It's been very beautiful experience and useful experience. So this new moon, and also the solar eclipse, it's for 21 minutes, and this happens at 11:41 p.m. So you'll be asleep, so you can easily breeze through this 21 minutes of not eating anything, so that your digestive system isn't at this kind of stall of you know, processing and going through its digestive flow. So for that day, if you want to do a cleansing, in the islands we would drink a tea called Circe tea, and it will just flush you, you know. And having a cleanse is good for your colon, you know, to flush everything out. And because we eat so many things that just get stuck, and a cleanse just cleanse it all out. So for that 1 day, you can drink it. Some people do it over the weekend for 2 days, because you know you're not going anywhere and you're just flushing out your body. So very, very good to study our nutrition, right? With everything that we're experiencing since March of 2020 about keeping our lungs healthy and strong. It's always a preventative, healthy eating lifestyle medicine rather than a reactive medicine. So the sooner we can start with more fruits and vegetables as a part of our diet, more water, you know, more natural sugar, the better it is for our longevity, for our health. And this is something that we learn as kids, you know, and growing up in the islands, is that healthy eating and juicing. And I never liked juicing growing up, especially on Sundays. They were like, oh, we're going to make this juice. I'm like, oh, I just want lemonade. But as you grow, you realize how lucky you were to have all of those things. And now it's like a popular thing to juice, but it's really healthy. So a good way of practicing that is you know, finding out what is naturally a fruit or natural herb for cleansing or just for drinking that is in June and July, and especially if it's in your location, that's good. Okay, and what is another important thing to add to your whole entire summer diet, meaning your summer eating, is fruits and vegetables or herbs that is either grown in your personal garden or something that's natural in your state. And if it's not natural in your state, then natural in your season, okay? Your state or your location. So it's a good practice to it's like a Zen practice. It's like, I always say every culture has their food of that season, and eating that way, your digestive system, your DNA is used to that food. So finding out what foods is good for your body makeup, you know, is very important. So that's it. That's my summer solstice video. I hope you guys enjoy the summer solstice, and you're so cute. Enjoy the summer solstice, and that's it. That's all I got. All right, guys, see you in class, and definitely click like, share this video with someone else that you think will benefit from this video. Enjoy the summer solstice. Make the best of your still moment on the solar eclipse. Peace.